Your day and welcome. You're tuned into the action. This is the Reservoir Sport Club Podcast, where locals talk sport, stories, and legends in the making.
All right, guys, welcome to the Reservoir Sporting Club Podcast. I've got Stevie K, because I'm not game enough to pronounce his surname again yet. We'll ask him to do it. Firstly, in a sec, Steve, welcome to the Reservoir Podcast. Thanks for coming on and talking everything Reservoir.
Thanks, Daz. So it's Krstevski.
Krstevski. You'd think I'd get
That's
that by now.
Perfect, mate.
Right, I'll just go with Stevie K this season. Maybe by next year I'll have a down pat for you. Mate, thanks for coming on. I know you're at school teaching at the moment, watching some cricket, which is great. Thanks for making 15 minutes for me. The idea of our podcast today is I've got yourself on, and then I'll obviously be speaking to Nick after this as well. But I just want to give your supporters a little bit of an insight to what's going on at Reservoir as we launch into your big Good Friday game with Reservoir versus Laylaw, 2:10 Chris Park this Friday, which will be a huge game for you.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think our pre-season's been, really good. Numbers have been great. We've got 70-odd guys on our list, for two teams, which is huge. It's just about now managing all those guys. So, recruited really well, got some really good kids in. Some juniors that have come back as well. We've got three kids that were ex-juniors that have come back to play at the club. We're in a really good position in terms of player retention. A lot of numbers on the track. So we're just really ready to go on Friday. We're sort of a bit over pre-season now.
Yeah, I think everyone's over pre-season. This week couldn't have come quick enough. Tell me who some of your key ins and outs are that we should know about.
So the key probably ins are Big Jack Berry from Port Melbourne Colts, big ruckman. JT, Justin Taylor, who was captain of Port Melbourne Colts for the last 8 years and coached there for 2. Taddy's just, really good. Played in 2 premierships at West and obviously come from Epping. Some of the young kids that we've got, so Geordie Matthews, who's ex-juniors, come back from West Preston, played 2 senior games last year, plays more of a back role. Dave Tomiano as well is an ex-junior. Gianni Bernardi's an ex-junior. And then there's one other kid that probably been there for the last 6-7 weeks is Dean Jeffries, who's also come from Greensborough, who I'm really, really excited about. He's got a lot of potential, this kid. So they're all going to play on Friday, all 4 of them. So it's quite exciting for the club. In terms of key departures, it's only really been Jace, our ruckman, Jace Coleman from the NT. So he's the only one that we've lost. Levi's playing, obviously Aaron's playing, Daiso, so all those guys are still on board. So we've only really lost Jace and gained, probably we've got 8 new players this week that will debut for the club.
Well, I hope that goes well, because I've tipped you on the Northern Footy Show to finish in the top 5, and I'm pretty confident you guys will. The one thing I'm impressed with so far is the way that this list has built over the last 3 or 4 years. It's been a very structured growth pattern. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, it has. And I take my hat off to Nick as well, who, he's done the bulk of the work in terms of the recruitment and, getting these kids back. So we haven't just looked at – first year was to sort of get back to being competitive, winning 6 games, being in a lot more games. Now, this year's the next step about, we want to obviously, first goal is to beat the 6 wins. And then from there, if we can play finals and, which the club hasn't done for over 10 or 11 years. So that's the goal. So we haven't just looked at, 1 year at a time. We're starting to look to the future too with these kids coming in. We're hoping to, as I said, play finals this year, but we've also got to do the work too. So it's not just going to happen for us.
Is anyone flying under the radar that we should know about? Is it one of those boys? Is it Jeffries?
I think probably one that springs to mind is another recruit, is Jordan Lampy, who's come from the bush. So he played our first 2 practice matches and went really well. So he's probably one that not many teams would know about, who can play a little bit of inside, a little bit of outside.
What was his surname? Just broke up.
Lampy, Jordan Lampy.
Oh, Lampy, yes. Yep,
yeah,
course,
so he'll be definitely a good addition very silky, very similar to Grabowski.
Yep.
In terms of the way he moves and so he's one probably that's flown under the radar a little bit where teams aren't sort of don't really know much about him. Which suits us. So.
What's the game style that Reservoir supporters should expect to see from you this year, Steve? What's your game style?
There'll be without giving too much away, Daz. There'll be a clear plan of the way we want to move the ball. Forward to centre, around the ground, and then obviously how we want to defend the ground as well. So I don't want to sort of give too much away, and then teams are able to pick us apart. But there's definitely a clear vision of the way we want to move it. How we want to shape it, how we want to defend the ground when we don't have the ball. So we've been big on that since day one of pre-season. Like I started to push the game plan from day one of pre-season. So we're about 5 months in now, where the boys are starting to understand what we're after.
Yep. Let me ask you, what does success look like for you? You would have sat down with Nick, I'm assuming, at some stage, or even self-assessed and said, what does a successful 2026 look like? What is it?
I think, as I said just earlier, I think the first in terms of defining our success is getting more than 6 wins. That's number one. So if we can better that, we've obviously been, we've had a bit more of a successful year, but then it's to try and push into that top 5. So without, I understand we are coming from a long way back and we're a lot more competitive, but yes, our goal is to play finals and we're hoping to do that. So I feel that would be the end goal if we can get there by the end of the year is to play finals. But our number one goal is to just win more games than what we did last year.
Yeah.
To try and keep it as simple as possible. Take it week at a time. Don't try and look too far ahead in the fixture. We look at Laylaw. Let's try and beat Laylaw on Friday, and then we roll into round 2, trying to beat what's only in round 2. So, it's just taking it a week at a time, and then if we can get to, I think 10 or 11 wins will probably get you to play finals, and that's obviously the goal.
You're AFL ready with those answers. You know that, don't you? That's media training 101, Steve. Let me ask you, do you set internal goals for the guys individually in a pre-season at Reservoir? And if so, is that more structured towards leaders, or do you have different goals across different levels of players freshly coming in?
I think not so much individual goals. It's more team stuff or club goals.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't set like individual goals for players, or I would definitely talk to players about what I expect from them and what I need them to do during a week out on a Saturday. But not in terms of like individual stuff, because I think you can go away from what you're trying to do as a club when you start setting individual goals for players. But it's that constant communication with the players as well. I'll speak to them during the week and I give them a call, what I expect for them this week, what their role is, who we're playing, who they might be playing on. So I really pride myself on the oppo stuff I do. I'll go spend a lot of time in the opposition and then give guys specific roles for that Saturday of who we got to play.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. I guess the bit I was trying to get at is, do the new guys who come in, do you fill them with confidence by saying there are no rules, go out and be you, or is it more?
Definitely. Like you're getting, and what we do 2 days is we didn't just go and recruit anybody. So you can fall into the trap of going, okay, let's try and get as many blokes as we can into the club. But that's not what we wanted to do. What we wanted to do was, okay, this is our game plan. How does this player fit within our game plan and the way we want to play? So we haven't just gone out and got anybody. We've actually targeted players that we need in terms of the way we want to move the ball and the way we want to defend the ground.
Yes.
So everyone in that team, everyone in our 22 will have a role. So it's not just a matter of going out and having a kick. Every single player will have a role to go by on the weekend.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I want to walk you through your first 5 or 6 rounds. Actually, I'll make it the first 8 rounds. And I just want you to answer, would you pen it in as a W? So if I get to it, is it a W? So let's start as a win. Reservoir Laylaw, you would pen that in as a W.
Well, well, you don't want to be internally. We would, look at the teams that we look at saying, yeah, we can win, but there's no reason why Laylaw can't come out this Friday and beat us. So we can't be looking like that in terms of the fixture. So I just want to, I respect every team in the competition. So I'm not taking anyone lightly. We've just got to roll up on Saturday and get the job done. So
I'll call it for you. I'll make it easier for you. I'll say I expect you to get a W against Laylaw, and then it's a tough game against Watsonia because they're a side coming down in round 2. Again, though, at Chris Park. So, they have Cameron Cloak in there. It's going to be a tough one for me. That's going to be a test to see where you're at. And I reckon that's a 50-50 split. It'd be a hard one to call for me. I'd be sitting on the fence. I don't know on that one. Then you come up against Ivanhoe in round 3. That is going to be the toughest of toughest. Hit outs, but that's okay. It'll actually let you know where you're at. You can pull positives out of those games, can't you?
Oh, definitely. And I went and watched Ivanhoe on the weekend against Northcote Park in a practice match, and the way they're going to be super hard to beat. They're well-oiled machines. So that's what as a player and as a coach you look forward to those games because they test you. They test you as a coach and they test you as a player.
I agree. I'm going to put that one down as an L, but don't jump through the phone and punch me. I'm just trying to be realistic up to round 8. Then you've got King Lake, and I think that's a W for me. I think that King Lake will be a tough game. I think a goal or two separates that, but it's another good tester. And then we get to round 5 against Lorimer. I'll put an L there because they're expected to beat you, but you never know on your day. At Chris Park, it could happen. Then you got Old Eltham Collegians and Heidelberg West rounding out round 7 and round 8. So by round 8, I've probably got you sitting 4-4 in that thing. You'd be happy with that as a coach, 4-4 after coming across 2 of the very top oppositions, and that I think you need probably 7 to 8 wins to play finals. Would that get you on par with where you are at that stage?
Oh, look at if you're 4-4 or 5-3 after 8 rounds, you're in a good position. You've got a good platform. But as I said, I don't want to put a target on where we want to be after 8 rounds. I just want to know where we want to be after this week, and that's obviously with the win. So we're 1-0, and then we go to Watsonia, and then we go to Ivanhoe. So it's not a matter of getting and saying, we want to be this after 8 rounds. Well, what happens if we're not? Or what happens if we're better than that? So,
yes.
As I said, and again, it's the old cliche. It's just a week at a time. What I will say is, though, the way our players will be very well prepared in terms of who we have to play with each opposition. So, it's not so much putting a ceiling on what we can achieve, but the number one goal is to better our wins from last year.
I love it. I've got a couple more for you. I'm not letting you off too lightly just yet. So captain and leadership group, has that been decided, or is that something that's decided this week?
That's been decided. So Joey's still our captain, even though he's going to miss majority of the year with his Achilles. I spoke to him in pre-season. I said, look, I would still like you to lead the side, even though he might not play many games at all. And then Jack Sandrick's our vice captain, who came over last year from Tassie, played a lot of VFL at Coburg, and so he'll skip over majority of the year. Yep. And then our other 3 leaders in the leadership group are JT Justin Taylor, who was captain of Port Melbourne Colts for 8 years. So he was pretty much a lock as soon as he signed. And then Taddy's really impressed me over the pre-season, so he's in the leadership group as well. And then Kieran Robertson, who's been at the club for the last 5 or 6 years, and just a really good leader, plays down back, just leads by the way he, plays. So that's our leadership group for this year.
It's a pretty strong leadership group, and then I look outside of that and you have ex-AFL players that are still naturally going to lead by default because that's just who they are, and I've seen that was really evident in the practice game against Thomastown. You're really in a good spot, aren't you, Steve? You've got plenty of good quality guys at your club.
Yeah, we do, and we've got as you said, we've got a lot of experience. But what we've tried to do this year is blend that with youth. Which this week we're going, as I said at the start, guys, we're going to have four kids that are 20 and under that are going to play in the seniors. I said to Nick during the week, I can't remember the last time Reservoir would have had that.
Yes.
where 4 of them are playing, and they're not just getting a game because they're returning juniors and it's a fairy tale, and they've actually earned their spot. And then you've got some older guys, like Aaron and Daiso and Chewy and guys like this who blend in well with the kids, and Grabowski, and so it just keeps the group so energized with these kids coming through. So yeah, we're quite blessed in that way, what we've been able to do this year.
Yep. No, I think you're in a good spot. Tell me how important it is to you that the fans get down for the players this weekend, just to get behind you all in round one. Are you expecting a big crowd? Have you had much feedback?
Yeah, so super competitive. We want as many supporters as we can to get down there. And another thing too is, when was the last time Reservoir had a marquee game? So that's another one. We're the only team playing against Layla in Division 3 this week. We're on show. We need as many supporters as we can get down there and show how much we've improved over the pre-season. And that's So anyone that pop down and come down and actually see how much we've improved this year.
It's going to be great, mate. My final question for you is, it must be hard coming in sometimes as the new coach. What's your mindset going into a game? What's your morning ritual getting ready for round one?
Yeah, so majority of my stuff's done, I guess, during the week in terms of my oppo stuff. So I'll do a lot of during the week, speak to the players, give them their role, what we expect on the weekend. And then, basically Saturday, it's really up to the players to put that full, do as we asked out on the ground. But yeah, that's pretty much a lot of my work is done during the week, and then it's up to the players then to perform what we expect out on the weekend. So that would be, I'll get down and watch the twos, obviously, speak to the guys that are on the fringe. But it's really left up to the leaders and our line coaches for the Saturday. That because our preparation is going to be so well drilled during the week, where on a Saturday I can just come and just sort of manage everything. That's obviously the goal.
Yeah, great. That's just simply amazing. I've got Mickey Thompson coming down from the Northern Footy Show to watch your game, take some photos and write a report for us, which will be fantastic. And in all seriousness, thanks for coming on. I know you're at school, you're teaching, and there's cricket going on in the background. Can I have a quick score update before I let you go?
We are 8 for 173 in the 19th over.
Are you an overachiever, Steve, as a coach? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Hey, mate, I wish you all the best on Friday. It's a huge start to the season. I just feel so much great stuff happening down there at Reservoir. You had a fantastic president, got a fantastic coach, and you've got a great bunch of players behind you, and such a strong club. So have a great season. I look forward to speaking to you next week.
No worries at all. Thanks so much, Daz.
See you, buddy. Bye.
See you, mate. Bye.
As we know, none of this happens without these amazing sponsors from Reservoir, so I want to take this opportunity to quickly play them, but don't go too far.
This episode is proudly brought to you by Gravina Developments, specialising in residential and small-scale commercial projects, from multi-unit developments and townhouses to office buildings and factory construction. Whatever your project, Gravina Developments delivers. Find them at gravina.com.au. Also brought to you by Nelson Alexander Reservoir. Experience the real estate difference with their property experts. Contact an agent today. They stand for the highest levels of professional conduct within the real estate industry. Since 1971. Call them on 9469 1000. And finally, Elmo's Burgers. After living in the USA and Europe, James came back to Melbourne wanting to do one thing well. Keep it simple. Focus on the beef. Served on Martin's potato buns with their signature Elmo's sauce. The menu stays tight, so the quality stays high. Organic, hand press, that's it. Find them at 350 St. George Road, Fitzroy North.
All right, and we're back with our second guest here today, and it is Jack Sandrick from the Reservoir Sporting Club. Jack, welcome in for a quick chat.
Oh, great to have a chat. No worries at all.
Now, vice captain this year, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Tell me all about the role. Is this your first year doing it?
It is. So Joey's still the captain, although he's going to miss some footy with a torn Achilles. So
Yes, we heard that.
they voted me in, the boys. So I'm very fortunate and grateful for that. And being the vice captain's brilliant because I can take credit, but I don't have the responsibility. So that's what I've been telling Joey anyway.
I'm not sure that's how it works, but I'll play with you on that line for a minute. The good news is when someone drags you, you can say, "I'm just going to take, I'm going to take leadership here and stay on. I feel they need me on a little bit longer."
Yeah, we'll go with that then.
Let me ask you, knowing that you were getting this role, what were the key focuses over the pre-season for you, knowing, that there would be a leadership role leading into this season ahead?
Well, I guess Stevie since he's come on as coach, there's been a real emphasis on developing our system and how we defend the ground together, also and how we can move the ball as a unit. And I guess every team has, different similarities, I guess, with the way footy's played now. But I guess for us, it's all been about just practicing that system. And for me, in my role, I guess I can just be someone out on the field that helps direct that, and also playing in the back line. It makes it a bit easier being behind the ball. I can see what's in front and help direct everyone. So I think my role as a centre back or wherever I am, it can play into that as well. And I think also it's just driving the standards around building our fitness, building our stamina. Because I think last year when we got to a few close games and we weren't able to get over the line, and it was a lack of system and I'd say a lack of fitness that cost us. Whereas this year I see that being a different story.
So is that where you think you've most improved this season on last year? Was that a key performance indicator you wanted to measure yourselves against, finishing games off?
Yeah, definitely. Last year we still had the cattle. We still had great players across the whole ground, but yeah, it was just probably that lack of system because the club's just come on so far so quickly. So I think having another. Although the club's recruited well, we've retained really well. So these guys, we all get to play another season of footy together. And I think that goes a long way as well.
So you've got round one coming up as first one as your vice captain, and the captain's away. So that nearly makes you captain for the day. If it doesn't nearly, it does. So you're running out, you're taking on Laylaw this Friday, Good Friday, blockbuster game. What's your advice to the boys in the last 2 minutes before you go out? What's going through your mind and what's the message you're trying to get across?
Well, I've been told by a few senior players that there's a bit of pressure on me to really rev them up before we go out. But I think that by the time that we're going to get a fair decent crowd, as you say, there's not many other games playing on Friday. And I think just the joy and excitement of round one coming, I think everyone will be able to get themselves up. So everyone's excited to play. Everyone's excited to be a part of the team this year. So I think for me, it's just trying to, channel that and go with it, I guess.
How much work do you do, Jack, at local level on Laylaw? What have you done to look into Laylaw going into this round? I've seen they released their team online last night. Have you had a look? Have you thought about matchups? How deep do you get into that?
Well, Stevie as senior coach is brilliant, and I feel like his oppo analysis is a strength of his coaching repertoire, I suppose. He before every game, he gives us a detailed analysis of who we're playing and, potentially for, mids, what sort of inside-outside balance the team would have in the midfield, or if they've got a dominant ruck, where he's all over that and gives our boys great insight. And also for, in my role as playing in the back line, we've always got a pretty good indication of who we're coming up against. Being round one, there's always a few things you don't know. Guys going to change roles potentially, or there's new players coming into a system. But I feel like we're very prepared, yeah.
There's an expectation this year that Reservoir finish in the top five. I certainly named you to finish in the top five this season. JK also tipped you to finish in the top five. What does that bring to you in the way of expectation? Does that change your mindset going into a new season, or are you in the same mindset we should play finals with the cattle we've got this year?
probably don't look into externally. I mean, it's great for the game. It's great for the Northern Footy League to have that sort of I don't know, analysis, or I guess and sort of excitement around what's going to happen for us. But I think that we're very, very keen to play finals, and I see it happening. I see us winning finals and going deep into the season, no doubt.
There's the expectation this weekend of the crowd down at Reservoir Laylaw is quite big. There's another game on in town with Greensey and Eltham, and you're the only other game on the day. I know a lot of people are coming down to your game. To be honest, I reckon it's about 50-50 split of the people I've spoken about at the moment, which is great for you guys. But you should be expecting a crowd in excess of $1,000 people down there. It's a huge day for the club, isn't it, to have that level of support behind you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm hearing closer to 5,000.
I like it. I hope you're right.
And bring it on. The ground's looking beautiful. It's like a carpet at the moment. The stable, we like to call it, and it'll be a beautiful day.
All right, I've got some quick fire questions for you. Okay, I want to know who's been the best trainer on the track this preseason.
James Tadd, new recruit. He's brought great energy. Yep, give it to him.
Best dressed at the club when they rock up to training.
Best dressed at the club, Aaron Edwards, just oozes aura. He does.
That doesn't shock me. Who's most likely in your side to kick a bag of goals in round one? If you've got to put your house on it, who are you putting the house on to get you a bag of goals round one?
Oh, bag of goals. Gee, well, I'm going to give a bag of goals to Elmo, say James. El Masali, he's going to kick a bag, no doubt.
All right. I like it. You've got to sum up in one sentence your selling Reservoir to your supporters, for the people to come down there. In one sentence, sell me Reservoir Sporting Club.
Gee, in one sentence. Well, we're a family club at Reservoir. We're a family club. We've got lots of great players, young and old, and I think that it's just a wonderful place to be, and we're going to do some damage this year during the season. So get behind us, and that's more than a sentence, mate. But that's what
I like it. It's a paragraph, but you know what? I didn't hear any punctuation or full stop, so I can count that as a sentence. All right, the next one for you is you've got 5 people you can bring to dinner, dead or alive, anywhere around the world. Who's coming to Jack Sandrick's dinner?
Well, anywhere around the world.
Anywhere around the world, dead or alive. So, for example, if you want Elvis there, you could have Elvis, but I'm sure you don't want Elvis. You're too young for Elvis.
We'll go to Tizno, Croatia, where my family's from. We'll go to their beautiful part of the world.
Like it.
And look, I'll have who's going to come? My beautiful fiance, Maddie, of course.
That's a win. Miller. Brownie points.
And then from there, I guess we'll just have to have the Reservoir Mustangs in a sanctum. So we'll go Stevie, Joey, and Ricky Dyson. There you go.
So
we'll just plan out. We're going to win our next premiership.
You can take anywhere around the world, and you're taking the Reservoir guys. That is the best answer I've ever had in 3 years of doing the footy show.
Oh, there you go. No worries.
I love it. Now, you've just won the Footy Show Player of the Year, and we've offered a trip anywhere in the world for you to take your fiancée to. Where do you go to? You got a week. Where do you go?
Gee, you got a week. Oh, look.
Fully paid for. No expenses spared. This is a hoax, by the way.
Matty, we've got a week. We've got one Player of the Year. Where are we going for a week around the world? Where's that place you liked in Italy? I can't remember the name of it.
Tuscany?
Anyway, beautiful island in Italy. Sardinia. We'll go there. We'll go to Sardinia.
Wow. How good's that?
Good things.
Hey, that's a win. And I love how you're including the miso in all of this, mate. Very smooth. Very good. You're made coach of the club tomorrow, and you have to appoint someone else as your leader, your right-hand man. Who is it?
Tyler Williams for sure. Just a bit like Aaron, just has that aura and charisma that you need.
I love it. I love it. And what are you eating before a game? What's going through your Friday night repertoire?
Well, I'd say I think so. We're going to have a ragu pasta, so that's good for us there. Yeah, we'll have a nice, beautiful ragu. And then game day, just a bit of porridge in the morning and then a salad sandwich.
Porridge.
Very okay.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. Very structured here. This is actually very good. How old are you, Jack?
Just turned 30, actually.
This is why you're a little structured. You've got some life experience. This is very, very good. You win Tats Lotto. You win $3 million. What's the first thing you do?
Probably pay off my house, I'd say, and then I might have to. I don't know. My family's from Hobart. I'm a Hobart boy, so we like to travel down a lot. So I might invest in some real estate in Tasmania as well.
I like
That's
it.
what I do.
Like it a lot. All right, now this one you get 5 minutes in a room with Nick Cosmas, and you get Stevie K's in there as well.
Yep.
We'll throw Ricky Dyson in there because he's got a pretty level head, and you've got to tell them each where they all improve themselves. What do you say to each one? Let's start with Ricky. Ricky, I'm sitting down to tell you how you can improve around the club or as a footballer. What's your advice to Ricky first?
Oh, gee, Ricky.
Now, I love Ricky.
Well, he's promised me I'm going to spend a day with Ricky and his mates. He makes salami. So I'm keen to do that with Rick, but it hasn't come soon enough. So he's probably going to improve the amount of days that we're making and eating the salami that his mates do. I'd say for Cosy, I don't know, he's pretty good, Cosy. I wouldn't mind borrowing a few of his cars. He has these beautiful cars that he drives into the footy club, but he doesn't share them. So I wouldn't mind taking the G-Wagon, particularly being vice captain now. It'd be good to take it for a spin, and I'm sure he could trust me. And for Stevie, look, I don't know. Sometimes when he's addressing the group, it's a bit hard to see him. So maybe if you could get a little box to stand on or something like that.
Oh,
so
this is gold.
Yeah, that's probably how I'd go with those three boys.
Now, Nick put you forward today. This may well be the last ever interview you do for the Reservoir Sporting Club. There's every chance in the world this is your last, but it has been an absolute hoot, Jack. I wish you the very best of luck this season, especially this weekend in your first game where you take on the Laylaw Football Club. It is a big game. Give me a tip. How much do you win by?
I don't know. I don't want to give too much away. I'll say we'll win in a close one.
Win in a close one. I think Laylaw's improved too, so it should be a fantastic game, and we wish you the very best for the season ahead, buddy.
Thanks very much for the chat. Good on you.
Good on you, mate. Bye-bye.
This episode is proudly brought to you by Gravina Developments, specialising in residential and small-scale commercial projects from multi-unit developments and townhouses to office buildings and factory construction. Whatever your project, Gravina Developments delivers. Find them at gravina.com.au. Also brought to you by Nelson Alexander Reservoir. Experience the real estate difference with their property experts. Contact an agent today. They stand for the highest levels of professional conduct within the real estate industry. Since 1971. Call them on 9469 1000. And finally, Elmo's Burgers. After living in the USA and Europe, James came back to Melbourne wanting to do one thing well. Keep it simple. Focus on the beef. Served on Martin's potato buns with their signature Elmo's sauce. The menu stays tight so the quality stays high. Organic. Hand press. That's it. Find them at 350 St. George Road, Fitzroy North.
All right, thanks for joining us on the Reservoir Sporting Club podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and we look forward to speaking to more people from Reservoir over the next couple of weeks and keeping you in the loop with everything Reservoir Sporting Club.